Bandit Ring is right around the corner, so let's get started at looking at the top 10 cards from Bandit Ring. So, coming in here at number 10, we have Hoopa EX. And Hoopa EX is a really great card, and it got a lot of showing when some scans were released. It was one of the first scans to ever be released. And it says, once during your turn, before you attack, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may use this ability. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EX, excluding Hoopa EX, show them to your opponent, and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. So that ability is what really gives this card, potential, and it also puts it on this list as well. Hyperspace Fury isn't that good of an attack. I don't think it'll do anything, but Bandit Ring is really where it's at. The Hoopa EX will probably find a job in a lot of speed decks, such as the Mega Rayquaza, the colorless one, because you can play Hoopa EX first turn, set up some EXs, fill up the bench. If you have a Skyfield, you can discard energy through a Sycamore, Mega Turbo it on, use double colorless energy, attach that to the Mega Rayquaza, and you can start attacking if you go second for a huge amount of damage on your first turn. So Hoopa EX really gives a lot of speed decks a crazy amount of potential. Coming in here at number 9, we have Lugia EX. And this Lugia EX is very reminiscent of the old Mewtwo EX. It has an attack called Arrow Ball. It does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to Lugia EX and the defending Pokemon. So that attack is still very good in this format. It has kind of been slowed down a little bit when, just in the Bystander's Trump card kind of slowed down Yveltal, similar to Mewtwo. And there hasn't been very many Mewtwo or Yveltals decks that we've seen in the format, but hopefully Lugia EX can change that. And Deep Hurricane isn't that bad. It's similar to Donphan's second attack. It says it does 80 damage. If there's a stadium card in play, it does 70 more damage and discard a stadium card. So it's not a horrible attack. I mean, you could do 150 and Muscle Man and do 170, and you're not really discarding an energy. So it's not an absolutely horrible card there. So I think Lugia EX is a very good card still, and Arrow Ball and is still a very good attack, and I think that it'll shake up the metagame for the better. Finally, so many people have been waiting for this card. It's obviously Level Ball, and it says search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. And the metagame really needed this card, mainly because EXs were being so overpowered, and especially in this set, as I will reveal later in this video, there are so many powerful Mega EXs, and it's kind of pushing away all these Pokemon that are very good, and they just have a small HP count, and they can just be hit, for one-hit knockouts. And Level Ball really makes those decks work quicker, and so you can search out those Pokemon and start evolving them to Stage 1 or Stage 2 really quickly. So Level Ball is just an overall great card, and I can't wait to see it in action in the metagame, and hopefully this card can bring in some more inexpensive decks for new players, as it did in when it was originally released. So I hope to see it in action again. Coming in at number 7, we have Mega Ampharos EX. I completely love this card. It has an attack called Exavolt. It does 120 damage, and this attack can do 50 more damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. And if you do that, there is a repercussion of the attack. Mega Ampharos does 30 damage to itself. But this attack is really good. I mean, if doing 170 wasn't enough, attach a Muscle Band if you were able to Mega Evolve without the Spirit Link, and you're doing 190. Not only that, but you're paralyzing your opponent's active Pokemon, and they're just stuck there. They can't attack, they can't retreat, so they have to play a switch. So this card could be paired up with a Vileplume, so they can't switch out, and they're just locked in the active position to do absolutely nothing. And this card is just an amazing card overall, and I can't wait to see it in the metagame. Luckily, Pokemon wasn't forgetting about Stage 1 or Stage 2 decks in here at number 6 with Color Drain City. And what Color Drain City does is in between turns, it puts 2 damage counters on each Mega Evolved Pokemon in play. And a lot of decks really needed this card. I mean, there's a Vespiquen deck that'll probably come out as a result of this new set here. And a lot of decks just really needed this card because there are so many overpowered Mega Pokemon that are coming into the format. And without this card, I would be very scared to see what would happen to the metagame. Coming here in at number 5 is a Stage 1 Pokemon. So not an EX card or a trainer card of some sort, but an actual Stage 1 Pokemon. And this Pokemon is Vespiquen. It has 2 attacks. One of them is called Information Control. It does 10 damage, and you may draw cards from your deck until there are 6 cards in your hand. So, I mean, that's an okay attack if you have a supporter deck and you don't have any Shamans or something like that. But Be Revenge is really where it's at. It does 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each Pokemon card in your discard pile. So immediately, someone reading this card that was familiar with the metagame would think Night March. This card will find a very nice home in Night March decks because Night March will be losing a lot, especially Mew EX and Flareon as well as Leafeon. And Be Revenge is a very good attack overall. And it can also be paired with Flareon, Vaporeon, and some of the other evolutions in the set that have an ability that allows all Stage 1 Pokemon in play to be the original type as well as a type of what the evolution's type. And so this is really cool because with Vespiquen, you can hit for type weaknesses. And you can Be Revenge for, like 90 damage. Muscle Band would make it 110, and because of that type advantage that you have on another Pokemon, that's being multiplied by 2, and you can start hitting for 1-hit knockouts. And because Vespiquen is not an EX, it's only 1 prize, so this card is going to be a very, very good card, and it's going to be fairly inexpensive, and it's a very good deck for people that are trying to get into the metagame and start playing competitively that don't want an expensive deck. Coming in at number 4, we have, if not the most hyped card of this entire set, the second most hyped card of this entire set, and that is Giratina EX with its Chaos Veil attack. It does 100 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, he or she cannot play any Pokemon tool cards, special energy cards, or stadium cards from his or her hand. And that is just amazing. With Double Dragon Energy, you don't have to worry about attaching a single Grass and a single Psychic Energy. All you need is a Double Dragon and double Colorless, and you can start hitting for 100 damage. The 100 damage for the attack isn't amazing, but, that effect right there is just amazing. And that ability, Rebellious Wave, isn't that bad at all either. It says, prevent all effects of attack, including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Mega Evolved Pokemon. So this is another card that I think will help balance out the format from all of these really strong Mega Pokemon that are going to come in here and just wreck the format. Luckily, though, we have Giratina EX to try to slow those Mega Pokemon down. You know how earlier I was talking about how Mega Pokemon were going to be incredibly strong after this set? Yeah, this is the card I was talking about. It's Mega Sceptile EX. And its attack is called Jagged Saber. It does 100 damage, and you may attach 2 Grass Energy from your hand to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. If you do, remove all damage from each Pokemon you attach to them. So this is just an amazing card overall. I mean, it only costs 1 Grass and 1 Colorless, so I mean, doing 100 damage for 2 energy isn't that bad at all. But it's really that text below the attack that you can heal your bench Pokemon. So you can pair this up with a Mega Heracross and heal all the damage off the Mega Heracross, and therefore, because Mega Heracross's attack does 180 damage, minus 10 damage or 10 damage for each damage counter on that Pokemon, pretty much. Mega Heracross will pretty much never have any damage on it, so you can always hit 180, 180, 180. Attach a muscle band to that, and you're hitting 220 or 200, 200, 200. So Mega Sceptile will kind of be the engine of the deck, keeping it consistent and then sweeping in with the Mega Heracross to do a high amount of damage. I am honestly very scared for this card, and it will kill Seismitoad, so that is a very good thing there. I think I'm excited to see Seismitoad kind of die off. If Giratina EX was not the most hyped card, then this card definitely was. It's Vileplume, with the frustrating pollen ability. And it says, as long as this Pokemon is in play, both you and your opponent cannot play any item cards. So, immediately, this card is just so overpowered. You can pair this with a lot of decks, but instantly I see this getting paired with the Giratina EX, because you're not only locking your opponent from playing Special Energy, Tool cards, and Stadium cards, but you're locking them from item cards as well. So, you're pretty much just locking them out of their entire deck, and I am so scared to see this come in. If people didn't like Seismitoad enough, we have Vileplume. Coming in at number 1 on this list, we have the Beast of Mega Tyranitar EX. This card is just so crazy. It has 240 HP, and its attacks is just so overpowered. It is called Destroyer King, and it does 110 damage, plus 60 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this card is incredibly overpowered, and instantly this card can be paired with the bat line, and all you need is a Golbat, put 2 damage counters on the active Pokemon, and use Destroyer King, and you'll be able to one-shot any single card in the format currently. And if it wasn't bad enough, it has a double ancient trait that says this Pokemon can have 2 Pokemon tools attached to it. So you can use a Spirit Link to evolve from Tyranitar EX to Mega Tyranitar, and then you can attach a Muscle Band to it. Although this could be an issue, considering that also means that you could Head Ringer this card twice. So that is somewhat of an issue. But still, this card, if it gets set up and is able to have time to set up, it will be so overpowered. It does have a little bit of an issue though. It does have a fighting weakness, so that is quite a bad thing to do. And as already stated, there could be two Head Ringers attached to this card, so again, very bad. And it also has a retreat cost of 4, so that is not good at all either. Some people might think the attack costs too much, but with Mega Turbo, I think it'll speed this card up a little bit. But overall, if this card can get set up, the game is pretty much over, as long as the Bats line is working. Honestly, this card is going to be so overpowered. Hands down. I don't think anything will be able to get in the way of this card besides fighting Pokemon and any trainer cards that are going to try to slow down Mega Pokemon. I think that if those cards didn't exist, including the Giratina EX, this card would just steamroll everything. Every single card would just get steamrolled by the Mega Tyranitar. I do not want to see this card come into the format, but it's coming, and we have to prepare for it. We have to prepare for the beast of the Mega Tyranitar. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I enjoy all of your support that you guys give me, and if you enjoyed this video, this is my first video in a set review kind of thing going on here. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell me that you did in the comment section below, or you can just slap that like button and I will know from that. Also, shout out to Pokebeach.com for getting these amazing scans early, and it's just amazing. The site is just an amazing place, so shout out to them that they have these scans for me so I can make this video for you guys. And besides that guys, I think that is all I have to wrap up this video. And I also am so excited for this set to come out. I just want to say, I am so hyped for this set. There's already some pre-releases that are starting to come out, so pre-releases are coming soon, and I just can't wait. I'm going to hopefully be going to a pre-release, and I can get some footage on that, but who knows? I'm excited to find out what happens in Ancient Origins. But that's all for this video. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later in the next video.